in St. Louis Park. I'm Bruce Homer along with Matt Seedorf. And tonight it's a suburban red matchup between the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights. And it's always fun, Matt, to have that inter-city rivalry going here as St. Louis Park Orioles looking for their first win of the season. And the Red Knights on a little bit of a roll as they've won 2 games in a row.
You bet. The Red Knights coming off 2 victories. Spring Lake Park, Irondale 26-14. De La Salle, their longtime rival, 43-22, where St. Louis Park's been offensively challenged this year. They're hoping this wet weather might help them get going.
And the Red Knights will kick off. Braden Fitzgerald with the kick, comes to the near sideline, and it's pushed out of bounds by the Orioles. So that was tapped out of bounds by number 27, Kai McKee. And the St. Louis Park Orioles will start.
You're going to see Logan Romero, number 10, as the quarterback for St. Louis Park. On the season, he's 20 for 45, about 45 passing yards per game.
Right, so quarterback Logan Romero, the running backs will be Ron Brown. Also see if we get Stafford. Orioles line up with Brown in the backfield.
And 15, Trent Stafford's kind of your big gun on the Oriole offense when they get rolling.
Well, there's Smith taking it around on the handoff to the outside. Smith breaks 1 tackle.
He's still on his feet.
Down the sidelines all the way up near the 45-yard line. Great first play for the St. Louis Park Orioles.
That's exactly what they want to do. Get some momentum, get some yardage, field position.
So the Orioles playing without Stafford tonight. Matt, so the Orioles will have their work cut out, but they do have in the game, Michael Howard is in there now.
Romero's got a guy wide open. That's a big play.
Just talking about Michael Howard, and there he goes. Great pass by Logan Romero down the middle of the field, and a 60-yard passing play for the St. Louis Park Orioles. They're on board for.
And he hits him in stride, little seam, cut back inside. And I don't know where the defender was, but he was not on number 5. Michael Howard.
So what a great play to start the game. Orioles with getting a first down on the run play and then going with a pass down the middle. And Michael Howard, who has not, because of Stafford, hasn't really gotten that much time, got wide open over the middle. And a great throw that time by Logan Romero. Now the Orioles will go for the 2-point conversion. They haven't had luck on that 1-point extra point, so they're going to go for it here. Romero on the option. He's got to just throw it here. That's a case where you got to just put it up if you can towards the end zone.
I agree. One thing to point out on that touchdown too, we didn't see this a lot last week, but good blocking on the offensive line. Romero could get a clean look, find the open receiver.
Well, good start for the Orioles. They lead 6-0.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, 11:41 still to go here in the first quarter. Much better start for the Orioles. Last game we did last week against Robbinsdale Cooper at halftime, the Orioles were down 56-0. So
yeah, and actually they only had 1 other first quarter touchdown so far in their first 4 games, and here we are 19 seconds in, and we've got a touchdown.
They're playing against the good Benilde offense too. So obviously 1 touchdown isn't going to hold, but it's a good start for the Orioles. That's something they needed, and Benilde has. In their games, they scored 14, 27, 26, and 43. So they can put points on the board in a hurry, too.
Their offense is predicated on ball handling. They've got some unique little handoffs, inside reverses, and things like that. We'll see how the weather plays a factor into that.
Rodelius Palmer with the kick.
And he's got a seam.
And 1 guy to beat him, and he doesn't beat him. That was number 27 returning the kick, Peyton James, and was taken down by number 21, the kicker, Palmer. Rodelius Palmer.
Great field position for the Red Knights to start out. Already some fireworks, 30 seconds in.
Yeah, so for the Red Knights, they're going to start at quarterback Will Whitmore, the junior. Also in the backfield will be number 23, Ricky Floyd. Wide receivers, Matt Brooks, Peyton James, and McKenna Ujuagu.
And Ricky Floyd's your big bomber there. He's averaging 177 yards a game on the ground. He's got 7 touchdowns in those 4 games, and there he goes.
Yeah, there goes Floyd. he was stopped initially at the line, but there he goes all the way for a touchdown. We've had 2 big plays in this game, one for 60 yards and now one for 50 yards.
38
going the other way.
seconds in. Woo! Let's take a look at that one.
Well, you see Ricky Floyd that he was touched right at the line, but then he just cut inside and had a wide open lane. And the Orioles didn't take a good angle to try and cut him off. So
he just kind of did a little shift move, found a gap, and then no one could catch him once he went 0 to 60 in a hurry. So catch your breath.
But when I was saying Benilde can score a lot of points or score in a hurry, that was a little too fast for the Orioles' liking. Yeah, Floyd is averaging close to 170 yards a game, but you get runs like that helps. Illegal procedure
50.
Called against the Red Knights, so they'll move this one back 5 yards, make it a little longer kick. Braden Fitzgerald, the kicker, lines the team up.
So 3 offensive plays, first 38 seconds, 2 touchdowns.
There's a fake, throw it in the end zone, incomplete. Is there a penalty?
There's a little jostling there in the back of the end zone, but
no call there.
They're going to leave it.
Yeah, that was Will Whitmore throwing that pass in the back of the end zone. A little, as we mentioned, a little bit of pushing and shoving there, but no call, and we're tied at 6.
I got to catch my breath.
We still got 11:22 to go. That's as fast as Denver putting up 14 points at the end of the game last night.
Ricky Floyd, electric. Let's hope St. Louis Park can come back. A little more offense of their own. Again, a great pass the first time around, Logan Romero.
Well, rainy night here too, so you know if maybe a little bit to the advantage of the offensive players, if they know where they're going, they can make that cut, and then the defenders could slip a little bit on this wet turf. But pretty good turf, pretty good footing out here. I don't think it'll be too big of a factor.
Well, I think that played into that last play because Floyd was stopped, did a little shift, and then just turned it on, and nobody could close that little seam that he found.
Nice return by the Orioles, taken by the up man, number 27, Kai McKee. And Kai McKee brings the ball up near the 40-yard line where the Orioles will have good field position again.
And I got to tell you, last week, St. Louis Park got down 14-0 in the first 2-3 minutes, and you could see their shoulders slumped, a little bit depressed there on the sideline. The start to this game's got to have them feeling good. Their offense got something rolling, and we'll see if it carries on.
Well, Romero's going to take it himself, gets a couple up the middle. That time it was an empty backfield, and Romero just spreading everyone out and taking that ball right up the middle himself.
That was 16 of Kenu Yagu on the tackle.
This time Brown in the backfield, trips to the right, back to pass. Romero, now he's going to take it himself, and Romero is taken down at the 44-yard line.
He saw that the tackle, defensive tackle, kind of came left and around, and so there was a little gap up the middle, picked up a couple yards.
There's Duda in on the tackle that time for the Red Knights.
3rd and 6. You got to see if they can extend the drive and keep the ball out of Benilde-St. Margaret and Ricky Floyd's hand.
Well, you know, Stafford normally is a punter, and he's not in the game today. So here's a pass. There's Floyd. Had one step on the defender, number 4, Charlie Wolf, and the pass was just thrown in front of him too far. So Romero now will have to do the punting for the St. Louis Park Orioles. I think they may have put a different shoe on. So back is Matt Brooks to receive the punt. Nice high punt.
Brooks is going to call a fair catch.
Yep, and that catch is at the 27-yard line.
So we had a one-play drive, Benilde the first time. Ricky Floyd, 50 yards. We'll see what they try to do. And again, they do a lot of the tricky little handoffs. They'll do a reverse that's in front of the quarterback.
It's the St. Louis Park defense up on the board right now.
They put a lot of confidence in their ball handlers, and we'll see if the weather affects that at all.
Whitmore. And there's
Floyd
Ricky,
again. And he's got another
look at
seam,
this.
and
This is
he
crazy.
will not be caught.
Ricky Floyd's average in this game is unbelievable.
60, 72 yards. Let me write that one down. Ricky Floyd, 2 carries, 122 yards. And there was just a gap right up the middle.
Obviously, the Orioles are going to have to make an adjustment there.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to get the middle linebackers in on that one. And
check with the stats guy when he gets over 100. Have him come see us.
there's Whitmore. Give it to Floyd. He only has a couple yards to go this time. That's a piece of cake.
Well, we got the Ricky Floyd show, 14. St. Louis Park Orioles, 6. A little over 2 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Well, we're going to see St. Louis Park is going to need to have some good time of possession here to keep the ball out of the Red Knights' hands. And Orioles did a better job against Cooper against the run. You know, obviously, you know, when you give up runs of 60, 72, something's not working right, and the Orioles are going to have to make some adjustments there.
Cooper was more methodical.
So St. Louis Park trails now 14-6 to the Red Knights. Fitzgerald with the kick. This is a good one. Orioles take it back at their 20. Smith gets to the 25. Not a bad return by Smith. And you know, again, you get the wet ball and everything, so good job for Smith to staying on to that. And Orioles will start from their own 25-yard line.
And you got to think they're going to get the ball to Ron Brown, try a couple runs, get something going for a little more continuous attack here to keep the ball out of Benilde-St. Margaret's hands.
That's Brown. Good tackling by the Red Knights.
3 guys got in the backfield on that one, got around their guys and got in. With Sean McCullough, Ryman Seminetti, and Braden Fitzgerald were all in on that one.
Yeah, Fitzgerald leads the team in tackles this year, averaging, well, he's got 40 tackles so far in 4 games, so a good start for him. 5 tackles for losses and 2 sacks.
Four wideouts for the Orioles.
And the handoff goes to Brown again, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage at about the 25, where he stacked up again.
We're going to see a 3rd and long here. Logan Romero, see if he can recapture that magic from that first, or actually the second play of the game, which went to Michael Howard.
So now Michael Howard will line up on the far side of the field. Trips to the near side. Back to pass. They look for Michael. He's not open. Now Romero is going to be taken down at the 10-yard line.
That's number 18, Malachi Johnson.
78 also.
Got around his guy
Eric
and was
Wilson.
in the face of Logan Romero. Not what the Orioles were looking for on that possession.
So now Romero will have to punt from deep in the Oriole territory.
And chances are the Red Knights are going to have good field position.
Yep, Matt Brooks is going to stand on the St. Louis Park side of midfield as he's at the 45-yard line. And Romero.
Brooks leaves
That's
it.
a good kick by Romero as it goes out at about the 44-yard line.
Well, about 40 yards, not a bad one. Well, what do you think they're going to do here on offense?
Got to go with what's been working for them. Till the Orioles can stop Floyd, we're gonna see another dose of Floyd here, I believe.
Again, he averages 177 yards a game. He's got 122 on 2 carries right now. That last play, offensive line did a good job of creating a gap right up the middle.
Man in motion the near side, penalty flag.
You see offsides on the offense. Will be 1st and 15 here.
Yeah, procedure call.
Got a little jumpy. They were trying to get out of Ricky Floyd's way and just did it a little too early.
Ricky Floyd just wanted an extra 5 yards on his stats.
Yeah.
Whitmore. And now we're going to have Floyd to the near side. He cuts back, and the Orioles bring him down at about the 42. Gain of about 5.
I don't know what to say.
You call that a improvement,
right.
accomplishment?
I was going to say, when the word touchdown's not associated with Ricky Floyd's name, it kind of leaves you speechless.
We haven't seen a 3-play offensive drive yet, have we? Except
no,
for the
we
Orioles
have not.
And Benilde.
This is play number 2. We haven't seen a 2-play offensive drive.
So Whitmore is going to give to.
There's that little inside reverse we were talking about.
And a nice play as they give it to number 8, Clyde Selke.
And we've seen that over the years, Benilde, that little inside reverse in front of the quarterback.
Right, it's almost like they delay and then they tuck it in.
Yeah, and sometimes they give to a tight end, sometimes they give to a wide out when he's coming back around.
That time number 8, Selke getting the ball. So the ball in Oriole territory at the 45-yard line. This time the gives to Floyd. Floyd on his feet down to about the 36. It's going to be a gain of 9. Another nice run by Floyd.
He's got some shiftiness to him. They haven't really hit him clean when he's been running there, diving at his legs.
Down to 6:33 remaining in the first quarter. Red Knights with the 14-6 lead over the St. Louis Park Orioles. Red Knights from the 37-yard line. Matt Brooks lines up to the far side. Here's Floyd coming to the near side.
Breaks an arm tackle, and now he's got cut back.
He just had a player in his way, but
he's going to launch one again. He's stuttering. He's being patient.
I was surprised Floyd didn't go to the far corner that time. He ended up being, as you mentioned, being patient and then just trying to cut back up the field, pick his way for some yards there. But again, a big gain for Ricky Floyd.
And let's look at the replay here.
See if Floyd
he cuts back.
It looks like he had the whole corner if he could have.
Like he could have ran it, and yeah, he waited for some blockers to get in front of him here.
See, there's no one in the corner.
Are you going to question Ricky Floyd? How can you question? We got a 1st and 10 from the 15. That was about a 25-yard gain. Last one.
Yeah, Ricky Floyd's coming up almost to his game average of 170 yards right now in the first quarter.
I don't want to say he's unstoppable.
You got to pull out. What was the record? But you were throwing out all these high school records
last year. The one-game record was like 623 yards or something wacky.
He's on his way.
They will take him out of the game before he gets that close.
Wideouts to the near side. It's number.
The rain is pouring down.
Yeah, Matt Brooks along with Peyton James at the near side. Inside handoff.
And that time, great penetration by the Oriole defense. They had a couple guys in the backfield. And Ricky Floyd had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was Josiah Morrow in on the tackle on that play. Did a good job holding his ground.
That's the first play for loss, other than the penalty we've seen for Benilde.
And flag on the play.
I think we had a receiver jump the gun there.
We haven't seen Whitmore have to put the ball up yet, but so far this season was 35 of 67, 52%, 512 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Rushing, we should mention, 33 rushes for minus 20 yards.
Yeah, top receiver, Peyton James, number 27. He's got 12 catches for 238 yards on the season.
So James and Brooks line up to the near side.
He's to the bottom of your screen. They go 2 tight ends as well, which leads you to believe there's Ricky James.
And James is going to go in for his 3rd touchdown of the game. This one from 21 yards out.
3 touchdowns. That's going to put him right about at that 170 mark.
Floyd with the touchdown.
And why put it in the air when you got Ricky Floyd running wild? Three first quarter touchdowns, Ricky Floyd. 170 yards and change.
Kick is up. Ain't good.
21-6, Red Knights. Ricky Floyd, 179 yards.
179.
5 minutes left in the first quarter. I may retract my statement about the 6:23. Again, the Orioles' top offensive playmakers, Stafford, is out for the game. So they're going to have to rely on Romero and Brown. First quarter touchdown was Howard, a 60-yard touchdown, and really that's the only offense we've seen from the Orioles.
Floyd coming into this game, 92 rushes, 710 yards, 5 touchdowns. In this game, 179 yards and 3 touchdowns. End over end kick. Field it at the 10-yard line. Smith.
Got to run upfield, young man.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the outside, and he does. And Smith to the 30-yard line. A lot of running, but he gets a good gain, and the Orioles will start from the 30.
Orioles here going to try to get some momentum back.
They send Howard to the far side. Smith and Ty Benny to the near side.
They're going to go deep.
He's open.
He's got a man.
Michael Howard breaks one tackle. Michael Howard cuts up the field.
Fakes it, and then he takes it to the
10-5 touchdown. St. Louis Park on another long play. 70-yard passing play to Michael Howard from Romero.
And he got behind the cornerback. Romero lofted it up. Good catch. And then just a little dodge and run on a couple defenders. And here we are.
That helps Howard's stats too. Michael Howard, 130 yards receiving so far in the first. So we got a receiver with 130 yards and a running back with 179 yards.
And we got 4:48 left in the first quarter.
Orioles, we haven't seen them make an extra point.
We're not going to see it here either. They're going for 2.
Romero is going to lob it up in the air, going for
Guess
Smith.
who?
He's got him.
That's
Oh, he's bobbling. They're saying
they're
they got
calling
it.
a catch. That's a very nice catch. Good defense. Cornerback all over him.
It was a great catch and a good throw to the corner of the end zone.
Right over his shoulder.
Orioles back in it, 21-14.
Who'd have thunk it?
It's a fun one so far. We got some big plays in this game, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 4 plays more than 50 yards. We got Ricky Floyd, 179 yards.
Well, if anyone's happy is Ricky Floyd. He's going to get some more carries here, and it's still 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Who says bad weather makes for bad offense?
Rain is still pouring. We can hear the Michael Howard chant.
Yeah, Michael is just having a great game.
The Oriole faithful.
Kick to the front man at the 30-yard line. There's number 5, Brooks.
This is one of those games, the Orioles, if they get a turnover, a big play, that could just get them jacked up enough to keep that momentum going.
Matt, this is just a case where the Orioles coaching staff is probably saying, we just need a stop. We don't, not the big play, we just need a stop. Let's get a stop. Let's
Get a
bring down the
hand
punt
in
the ball.
there. Get a helmet on Ricky Floyd. Pop that ball out.
Ricky
Slippery.
Floyd's going to need some water here pretty soon.
Exactly. Untie his shoe, do something.
There's Floyd.
He just stutters a couple times. He found a little gap.
Orioles did a good job that time, just sort of making him run straight up in the air, and he wasn't able to really get his momentum, and was stopped at about the 40-yard line. So they'll call it about a gain of 3. It will be 2nd and 7.
We haven't seen Whitmore put the ball in the air, and why would you at this point?
Got to get some pressure from the defensive
Whitmore
players.
checks his wrist, like the play on his wrist, like he doesn't know what's happening with this play. He did try to keep it.
Yeah, that's quarterback keeper Whitmore. No gain for Whitmore on that one, so that's not going to help his average.
The Orioles sideline is getting fired up here.
First passing situation, well, I don't know. When you got a guy who averages as many yards rushing, it's not always a passing situation. They may just hand the ball again to Floyd. We'll see. Whitmore. Looks like he could be calling the play here right at the line. A pair of wideouts to the near side. Whitmore under pressure is pulled down.
Great play.
Yeah.
Zolly Kaplan got in there, wrangled him single-handedly, and they're going to get the ball back.
That's what the Orioles were looking for, get that stop, and they did this time. And we haven't seen many of them in the game for either team. And Orioles getting a stop, a punting situation now for the Red Knights. This will be Fitzgerald doing the punting. Bangura and Smith back to receive the punt.
He's got a chance for a return here.
Well, that's Smith. Smith gets to the near side, trying to get a block.
We think, no.
Now we're going to penalty.
We got a little fisticuffs here. I was just looking for a way to work the word fisticuffs into the broadcast.
Yeah, Cole Jacob looked like him and number 43, Josiah Morrow, got in a little bit of a pushing match there.
That might have been the block in the back that predicated it. So it's going to put the Orioles, I think, in pretty poor field position here. Of course, if you just launch it to Howard, I mean, 60, 70, 80, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I think we'll see the Red Knights making adjustments as well, as the Orioles did on the last possession run. So it is going to be a hold. So call it a legal block in the back, and they'll move this one back. I think they're gonna start it from the 35, so we'll be at the 25-yard line. So now the Orioles with first down, they bring Michael Howard to the near side. Back to pass, looking for Howard, but actually it's a short man. That was number 12 for
Ty Benny.
Yep. So Ty Benny underneath Michael Howard gets about 4 yards for the Orioles. What this does too, Matt, is it helps set up the run. So when you're passing and you're opening up the field, all of a sudden Brown has an opportunity to maybe get some running room here.
Well, you think they got to at least keep a safety back.
Holy cow. That time the quarterback, Romero, was hit hard. That was number 16, Ujuagu.
Kenny, as I call him. We go back. So that's going to be a 3rd and long. Let's see what Logan Romero can come up with here.
You just joined us. We're still in the first quarter. 21-14 the score, 138.
Lots of big plays. 4 plays, 50 yards plus, including a couple one-play drives.
Romero looks downfield, now steps into the pocket, trying to get to the near sideline.
He got around.
One tackle and has the first down for the Orioles.
Some nimbleness down the sideline. I'm making up words.
That was a great move, and I don't know if we have a replay on that, but Romero just did a great job, sort of hesitating for 1 second to draw the defender, and then was able to get up the sideline for a nice gain.
And he made sure he did that, that last little hesitation with enough room where he could still go left and stay in bounds.
Big thing, that was 3rd and long, resets the play clock. Here's the handoff for Brown, and Brown tries to cut up the field and gets back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain that time for the Orioles.
Not a lot of room there. Several Red Knights in on the tackle, including Eric Wilson.
Yeah, it was Alex Fisher and Eric Wilson in there. You have the Alex Fisher, the big nose tackle. They're pretty big up front, but a very young defense. 5 sophomores starting on the defense for the Benilde-St. Margaret.
Yeah, Eric Wilson, 6'4", 280. He'll take up some room.
Oh, that one was Michael Howard, and I think that time Michael was trying to see if he had a shot for the end zone to get another long play there. Good throw that time. Romero is actually looking pretty good so far here in the first quarter.
Well, he's only averaging 47 yards passing per game, and he's already up over the 150 mark today.
Now the Orioles face with 3rd down and 10. Ball at their own 45-yard line. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Been a quarter of some big plays. You're going to send Smith in motion. And the handoff to Smith, trying to get outside.
He got around, and he got a really nice block there.
And he fights to the first down marker. This is going to be really close. We're going to see where they spot this one.
Great block on a linebacker.
Smith had a lot of speed going that way, and a first down for the Orioles.
2 big 3rd and 10 conversions here.
So that sweep that they tried early in the game in the first play worked here to give the Orioles a first down, and we'll see if they can keep it going. We're down to 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And Rain just kicked it in a notch as well here. We'll see if that
now they send Smith to the near side on a reverse. Here goes Smith, cuts inside with a nice move. So Smith gets to the 36th, gain of 9. That was just a great move as they thought Smith would go to the outside that time, and he looks like he's banged up a little bit. He'll have time here because it's the end of the quarter, but Orioles can't afford to have Smith out of there. They've already been missing Stafford in this game, and
They haven't been able to get anything going up the middle, but around the ends there, they found some room, made some guys miss, and gotten some yardage. And we're at the end of the first quarter.
Which is a very entertaining first quarter. The score 21-14. Benilde leads. Stay with us. It's been an exciting first quarter. Hopefully we'll have an exciting finish here.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life.
We're back. Exciting first quarter, 21-14.
0-4 Orioles looking for their first win of the season. Red Knights started off 0-2, won their last 2 games.
Orioles on the move, though. 2nd and 5.
So they switch sides. Orioles go from left to right here. Michael Howard, the big playmaker.
This is their first sustained drive of the game. Their first 2 touchdowns, long passes.
So Howard lines up on the far sideline.
I want to see how wet that Oriole on the sideline gets by the end of this game.
Well, 2nd and 1. Let's see if they elect to do something different here. Handoff up the middle. Brown breaks 1 tackle.
He's
Brown
on his feet, and he's going to take it.
Downtown Ron Brown coming to the near side with the touchdown for the Orioles.
36 yards in a cloud of dust.
Great start to the second quarter for the Orioles.
Yeah, just when you thought you're out of big plays, Ron Brown proves you wrong.
Well, that was all set up by that reverse play that they faked the reverse to Smith, who they had a lot of success running that one. They hand off inside to Brown, and Brown did all the work in open field.
Yeah, that's the first inside run they've had any success on. So you're absolutely right. Those outside runs set up the big one up the middle.
Orioles going for the lead here. Throw to the far side.
He tried a one-handed grab, and he got it.
What a catch. Michael Howard is having the game of his life.
Move over, Odell Beckham.
Got to give Romero a lot of credit on this one. Threw it in a great spot.
Watch this, one
look
hand.
at one hand. In the rain, one hand.
Guy draped all over him.
Inside the sideline of the end zone. What a great catch. Coaching staff liking that one up here.
St. Louis Park had only scored 14 points first half.
We should mention
all season.
Michael Howard is a sophomore. Good things for St. Louis Park. They'll have Romero back next year. Howard. Also Smith, only a junior, so. And Ron Brown. So we got good things for the St. Louis Park Orioles. This is what the coaching staff wants to see, improvement as the season goes on with their young team. So far, they've seen it. 22-21
and what they don't want to see is Ricky Floyd with the ball.
Or number 27, which is Peyton James, running this one back, and Peyton James getting down to the 40-yard line. That's one of the things the Orioles have lacked, is really that kicker that can just boot that ball down and pin the other team. We've seen a good field position almost every time for the opposing team.
Yeah, we're seeing it here tonight, and Benilde doesn't need any help.
Well, we haven't seen the Red Knights trailed 6-0 early in the game. They came back one play later with Floyd running and giving them the lead. We'll see how long this lead holds for the Orioles.
Yeah, I'll have to check with our stats department, but I believe this is their first lead of the season.
Well, there's an inside handoff. That was Ujuagu.
We got a player down for the Orioles.
We got 2 players down. Just actually 1 player down. Looked like Benilde may have had a player shaken up a little bit, but this is
going to be a first down for the Red Knights when they resume play.
so Tavian Malone down on the field. And that's good to see Tavian walking off on his own. So
The crowd here fired up. We don't see that too often here. We like it.
looks like Ryan Clare is now in the game for the Orioles.
1st and 10 for the Knights. Ricky Floyd has been derailed here recently, but he's going to get that handoff.
Well, there goes Floyd again. Breaks 1 tackle, comes to the near side.
He's got a blocker.
I think he's going to go. Ricky Floyd all the way for another touchdown. This is a shorter one. Short one, 51 yards for Floyd.
And that'll put him way over 200 yards. He's got to be pushing 230.
And 233. And 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. He's got 7.
Still 11-17 to go in the first half.
Before this game, that puts him at 11. And did we mention, yeah, we're 50 seconds in.
And did we mention he's got 2-point conversions too?
All right. If you have him on your fantasy team, you're doing pretty good at this point.
29-22 the score. We may be here till 11.
If it stays like this, I'm game. Remember last week at this very same location, it was 56-0 at the half.
Well, we've seen 51 points so far in the first half. Well, it's almost really just extended almost just into the second quarter.
We got 5 touchdowns of more than 50 yards so far, and all of them more than 20. A wild one in the rain. Beautiful fall evening.
Fitzgerald will kick here.
Football weather, we call it.
Ball was fumbled at the 20. That was Brown. So the Orioles will start from their 30-yard line. That's what happens when you do social media during the game. Matt, get my wife sending texts. Get that picture off of Facebook.
You're a handsome devil. Plus, she married you for your charm.
Brown stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. And a great defensive play that time by Braden Fitzgerald, the leading tackler on the Red Knights team. So second down, they call it a gain of actually 1 yard where they mark it, so forward progress. And going to be second down, 9 yards to go for the Orioles. They'll send Howard to the near side, along with Ty Benny.
We'll see if they got another big play in their hat.
Ty Benny in motion.
He wants to launch
They're going
it.
for Howard again. Little short throw, but Howard gets it at the 37-yard line.
There was some jostling, some shoving, some pushing, but it was on both sides. So the Zebras said let him play.
Peyton James in on the tackle on that one. That one was thrown a little bit further. Michael may have had another long one.
There's a little who's going to hold whose hand, but it all worked out.
Well, the rain is not stopping Logan Romero and Michael Howard from having a big game here. Here goes Brown. Brown with a couple.
And a second in a row. Good sustained drive by the Orioles.
Yes, so the Orioles now in Benilde territory. They're at the 35-yard line. St. Louis Park trailing by 7 points here, 29-22.
And it's amazing what a little confidence does. You hit some big plays, and then you start to grind it out on the ground. Pretty soon you're going up and down the field every possession.
So Smith, Benny, and Nelson line up on the far side. Michael Howard on the near side. There's a pass. Oh, incomplete.
I think the receiver and QB were a little on different pages there.
They were, and if they waited another second, Nelson was breaking over the middle wide open. So, but fortunate that one didn't get picked, and Orioles will now have third down, 8 yards to go.
Big third down here if they want to stay in the game, keep the momentum, and keep the ball out of Ricky Floyd's hands.
From where this ball is, if the Orioles don't get a loss of yards, I think they'll go for it on fourth down if they don't get the first down here.
Well, if that's the case, they don't have to pass it here, but they do, and they're going for Howard.
Oh,
he did not see the ball. He lost in the lights, I believe.
Yeah, Howard was streaking down the field, and if that pass was thrown just a little bit shorter, a different spot, Michael would have had that.
I don't think he saw it, though. He turned around, and the ball was going, and he never saw it.
Yeah, St. Louis Park will go for it. I think this time they give Michael a chance to catch his breath. I think you got to go back to, Michael, or, you got 8 yards is what you need here.
I'm surprised Benilde is not keeping a safety back, and they're letting Howard just run past his man and just hoping Romero doesn't hit him.
Clock stops, 9:15 to go here in the first half. Most points St. Louis Park has scored in a game has been 26. They have 22 here in the first half.
Yeah, they only have 14 first half points all season coming into this game, and they've already pushed past that.
Michael to the near side. Still looks like single coverage. Well, now looks like maybe they have a couple guys on. He may be seeing double coverage here.
It's about time.
Benny in motion. Back to pass. Now rolling. Romero throws over the middle.
Body.
Oh, and it's dropped.
They had it.
Yeah, that was Smith. And Smith was, Smith would have had to still get a couple more yards there. He was short of that first down marker. I'm not sure if the defender would have been able to stop him or not. So
I think he just got a little anxious because he knew he was going to have to turn around and gain a couple yards, and he lost concentration on the ball.
So Orioles stopped. Red Knights take over from the 35-yard line. Watch for Ricky Floyd here. He gets the ball.
He's got a
and
gap.
There he goes. Ricky Floyd.
And they're not going to catch him.
This is crazy. Ricky Floyd is going to get his 5th touchdown of the game.
65 yards.
I think Ricky Floyd wants a copy of this tape.
Wow. Someone must have.
We're not even halfway. We're not halfway through the second quarter here.
There's a Globe College of Business recruiter in the sidelines, and they must have told Ricky Floyd, and he's turning on the Jets tonight. That's going to put him above 3 bills, I believe. Or right there, like 298. 298.
298
And we got
rushing
9 minutes left in the second quarter. .298. Did I say that enough times? I wouldn't believe it myself. No, I thought it was 298. It was the Adrian Peterson record.
All right, so Floyd came into this game with 710 yards in 4 games, averaging 177 yards.
And 5 touchdowns, I guess and we should mention. He had 5 rushing touchdowns.
He's doubled his touchdown total. He's got 298 yards, and we still have 8:57 to go in the first half. I don't know what the record book is, but that's got to be approaching a first half record.
It's something. I mean, how do you score more than that?
We have our Metro Player of the Week coming up. Randy Shaver's here tonight too, so
there's your kickoff.
So the Orioles will start from their 30-yard line. Now trailing 36-22.
It's Ricky Floyd, 36, Orioles, 22.
I believe 15 unanswered points for the Red Knights.
Yeah, Orioles had that 22-21 lead, and Ricky Floyd decided to take a couple to the house, 51 yards and 65 yards.
I think Michael Howard must be getting frustrated because now he's falling behind that.
Romero scrambling.
Steps up.
Oh, nice little pitch.
Brown breaks the tackle but can't stay on his feet. Nice effort by both Romero and Brown.
He got the first down, keeps the drive going. Nice awareness and a little bit of daring from Logan Romero. Guys on him in the little pitch.
Michael Howard sneaking his way to the near side before the team breaks the huddle. He's going to be double teamed. Orioles look to change the play here. Here's option. And Romero takes it, cuts back inside. Nice gain for Romero.
And really, that's what they want to do is 5-6 yards a pop, keep the ball. And have
see
a
Romero over
drive.
there. He's a little fired up. He's having fun in this game.
Yeah, he's scoring points against the first team defense. They're rocking, they're rolling. Been an exciting one. 58 points on the board, still 7 minutes left to go in the half.
Benny and Howard to the near side. Howard signaling to his quarterback.
The guy's 10 yards off me.
And Romero throws over the middle. Complete.
He's got another guy in the seam.
That's Smith. Smith cuts to the far side. Smith could go. And he's caught from behind at the 4-yard line. Nice play again for the Orioles.
Big plays. Logan Romero's got his season high in passing. Really, he's got more than, he came into the game with 189 yards. He's already way beyond that.
Did a nice job to cut back. Saw the opening on the far sideline, and a good job catching up to him. It was number 16.
The Orioles aren't going to go down without a fight.
But Ujagawa is just, he's been all over the field, man. There's a handoff.
It's Smith again.
And Smith is going to lose yards here as he goes down at the 15-yard line.
And that's a pretty big loss, 10 yards. Jacobs on the tackle.
So it becomes tough when you're in the red zone. Now you're at the 15-yard line, having to get to the end zone here. And we're going to get a timeout, I believe.
Well, and they had success on those sweeps earlier, but you get down there closer to the goal line, and safeties and everybody are up a little closer.
Yeah, no timeout called. Austin Nelson, Ty Benny, wideouts.
Romero
Thrown.
out of bounds.
Yeah, not a chance that time for the receiver trying to straddle the sideline. That was Smith, or Michael Howard.
There was good coverage there by Ford as well. And Romero just couldn't squeeze it in and keep it in bounds.
2 more chances for the Orioles here to get in the end zone and see if they can cut the lead down. So Nelson, McKee, and Benny will line up on the far side. Howard to the near side.
We are in 4-down territory.
Quick throw.
Wide receiver screen, they got some room.
And just short of the goal line.
That was a helmet cruncher. That was Ty Benny.
Yeah, watch this play again. Just a nice play, and good job by Benny to take it to the near inside.
And he laid some lumber in there before getting tackled.
So 4th down goal from the 4-yard line.
Big play for the Orioles. So keep them in the game if they can punch us in. If not, you might have like a 96-yard run the other way by Ricky Floyd.
Man, I think we're going to see Romero put this ball up in the air.
Well, they've had a couple little slants last week, and we got a timeout.
Yeah, Orioles know that this is a big play for them to get back in this game. It's 4th down, and they're going to talk it over. They waited until they saw what lineup Benilde had, and maybe sort of taking a look to see who's are they double teaming Howard on the play.
Well, remember they had that 2-point conversion where Howard just went to the corner there. They're in kind of that 2-point conversion field position, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something to the corner again to Howard. Exciting game, big plays. 6 touchdowns, more than 50 yards. Ricky Floyd show for the Red Knights. And we got a 4th down.
So Romero, this time, fumble. Romero picks it up.
Scramble.
He's got to throw it. Throw the ball. You got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it here.
Throw it out of bounds. There you go.
That's fine. That's what they needed.
Intercepted, so it's going to get taken out to 20.
Yeah, you know, that was not a heads-up play by Romero that time. He would have been better to just throw it away.
Romero was scrambling for his life, but at some point,
you got to just get rid of it.
you just got to, call off the dogs.
And that would have been an area where you've got Benilde down at your 4-yard line, so you just wanted to really hold them in that position. You got a penalty flag, unsportsmanlike. Well, this may help the Orioles as they move it back anyway, so. So unsportsmanlike conduct, it may have been just a little too much celebration there. We may have had the wine out on the field.
They're only up by 14. They've given up some big plays. I don't know what they're celebrating quite yet.
There goes Floyd. Floyd cuts.
You gotta be.
Floyd cuts to the near side.
He's on his feet.
This could be.
He's got a blocker. They're not gonna catch him. It's 90 yards. 90 yards.
Holy cow.
6 touchdowns.
Ricky Floyd, his 6th touchdown of the game, a 90-yard run.
He's at 388.
This is unbelievable.
I don't know what the Minnesota first half record is.
Boy, Ricky Floyd is putting on a show in this football game.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And if Jerry Kill isn't here, he will be for one of the future games. There's a block on the kick. And it's 42-22, and we're still with 5:30 to go in the first half.
And again, Ricky Floyd, 388. And a cloud of dust. 6 touchdowns. 2 extra point, 2 two-point conversions, excuse me. I'm a little flustered. That's a wild one.
This is just mind-boggling. I mean, it's just this is you know, and I think for Floyd, he's hoping that the game stays close so he can keep in, stay in there and keep adding to that total. Because if they get big lead on the Orioles, they don't want to have him get injured, and it's going to be a decision for the coach to make. But what an amazing performance by Ricky Floyd.
I don't know how he could get hurt. Nobody's touching him. Pull a hammy, that's it.
And the Orioles will start back on the return. This is Smith. Pushes his way, cuts back. Smith has a blocker. Smith to the 50, to the 45, and out at the 43-yard line.
And the
nice
Orioles
return.
aren't done yet.
Jamin Smith with a great return. Good field position for the Orioles. A 5:19 to go in the first half. 42-22, 64 points scored here in the first half.
I need a Sabesa. Woo!
Austin Nelson will line up on the far side. Coming to the near side will be Ty Benny and Michael Howard. Romero calling the signals. Brown in the backfield, and the give to Brown. Brown fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Red Knights.
Not
Fitzgerald.
the momentum.
That's Fitzgerald on the recovery.
The Orioles staying in the game, but a bad break there.
And from the 38, Floyd comes back onto the field.
If he scores now, that'd only be his 4th longest touchdown run of the game. Not of the season, of the game.
They run the same formation here.
Has he got to be cramping up? He's got to be tired.
Here's Floyd.
There
Floyd
you
is
go.
stacked up. And a round of applause on the Orioles sideline as Floyd actually loses on that play. So 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Red Knights bring Matt Brooks to the near sideline. Will Whitmore.
There
And the
they
inside
did that
handoff
little,
again.
They did that little inside reverse. Ricky Floyd handed it off.
Yeah, John Stone that time.
They do that 2-3 times a game. When they hang on to it, it's gold. When they don't, sometimes you see some turnovers.
So 1st down for the Red Knights at the 44-yard line.
We're inside the 50 now, so I wouldn't expect Ricky Floyd to get the ball.
Here's a throw, complete to the near side.
Peyton James.
And James breaks tackle.
Drops a shoulder.
That's Orioles just not getting the tackling down here. As got into the secondary that time. And
some hard hitting.
was a good block that time, and then
Just ran him over.
Yeah. This is where the Red Knights are saying, let's just spread it around a little bit. We seem to be too one-dimensional.
I know Ricky Floyd is great, but he's got to be gassed a little bit.
Well, we're going to get a penalty flag thrown as Floyd goes for a loss of yards.
If you just joined us, you missed Ricky Floyd's 50-yard touchdown run. You missed his 72-yard touchdown run. You missed his 21-yard touchdown run. His 51-yard touchdown run, his 65-yard touchdown run, and just the last one was only 90 yards. And we have 4 minutes left in the first half.
And a couple two-point conversions.
Yep. And a partridge in the pear tree.
From the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line on the penalty.
So we got first down. Benilde looking to gain some space. The Orioles have hung tough. They had a 22-21 lead at the beginning of the second quarter here.
And Ricky Floyd will take it. Ricky Floyd cuts back and gets about 5 or 6.
Good job clogging all the lanes there by the Orioles defense.
Ricky Floyd trying to get to the 400 mark.
I think, yeah, he's probably a couple shy.
Three minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the first half.
I will be Googling all the rushing records for Minnesota here at halftime.
And Whitmore
Whitmore
back
hangs
to pass,
on to it,
throws.
the lefty.
And
Oh!
it was deflected up in the air, almost intercepted that time.
We got two helmets rolling around there.
Yeah. Jerry Samaya tried to see if he could pull that one down, but he overran that one. And
should put him in a 3rd and long situation. Helmet on helmet here.
Yeah, 3rd down, 15 yards to go. That was Peyton James, who we saw down over there. And
they're in 4-down territory, though, here as well. So they might just try getting a chunky yards and go for it on 4th.
James and Brooks to the far side. Here's that inside handoff.
This time it was a little pitch. They faked the handoff and pitched it inside to Ujuanga. And I butchered that.
Ujuagu.
Ujuagu. I apologize, Mom and Dad.
McKenna.
So 4th down, still long, 12 yards.
Well, you know, the Orioles typically will be watching for a pass here, but I think you give it to Floyd.
Roll out Whitmore to left side, and he's going to
Looking
launch
downfield.
it, and he's got a nice catch.
What a catch. That was just a great, great catch by Peyton James. And that ball looked like it was thrown a little too far in front of him, but he was able to reach out his arm, pull that one down, and maintain possession
and really
on a wet evening here.
Great throw on the run by Whitmore. He's the lefty, was rolling left.
Almost deflected. It was really
stretched out.
And it was really good defense on the play too. Just a perfect throw by Whitmore and a great catch.
You
by
can't defend
James.
that, and somebody besides Ricky Floyd just scored a touchdown.
Ricky Floyd says, give me the ball, give me another 2-point conversion.
I think Ricky Floyd wants an energy bar, but he does get the 2-point conversion.
And he was hit after he crossed the goal line there.
Maybe an IV at halftime, but he'll be back.
So 2:38 to go, and the Orioles have given up 50 first half point.
So on MinHub, the rushing record for a game, Alexander Robinson, 464. Is that full game or is that half a game? 2005, Columbia Heights. De La Salle against Columbia Heights. 464 is what's showing as MinHub as the Minnesota rushing record. Ricky Floyd's pushing 400 first half.
$50 points put on the board for the Red Knights, so 50 first half points 2 weeks in a row against the Orioles defense. Yeah, there's 700 yards rushing in a game, I believe is. They have to go on the Minnesota State High School League website. Either way, an amazing performance by Ricky Floyd here. See if St. Louis Park can make something positive happen before the end of the half here. Romero. He's got time to throw. Now he's under pressure, rolls to the near side.
He's going to cut back in, and he's got his feet still. Nice little run.
Yeah, it was a great job by Romero that time. He cut back, stayed on his feet, had defenders on his tail the whole time there, but was able to get a first down for the Orioles.
That was Alex Fisher trying to chase him down initially in the backfield.
Michael Howard keeps pushing receivers away from him. He says, just get away so I can
They're
get the
playing
ball.
him back now.
Yeah, and Romero that time saw an opening up the middle, took it, and I think we'll get a late flag.
I think you'll see a face mask there. Oh, they're going to pick it up. The phantom face mask.
So we got Minnesota Twins being rained out tonight.
It's just starting to clear up. Well, maybe not. It's still raining.
Romero, he's got time.
He's
Now
going to
he throws
heave it.
That was Howard again, but good coverage on the play.
Yeah, Romero threw it inside, and Howard was not able to cut in front of the cornerback. Good coverage there.
You know where I think we've seen Floyd tiring, you got to have Howard's got to be tiring a little bit too, running those long routes.
Third down here, and again, we're probably in 4-down territory.
1:45 remaining in the half. There's a pass over the middle, too high. One of the few times that we've seen Romero throw a ball out of the reach of a receiver.
Yeah, good coverage there. Clyde Selke was your defender, and he's got a couple inches on the wide receiver there, so on a high pass, you're not going to complete that. It was Ty Benny, the intended receiver.
Well, the Orioles will go for it here. Trailing by 28 points at halftime. Not quite halftime, we should say. Still 1:41 remaining. And they're going to run an option, Romero, and he dives, but he's going to be short of that first down marker.
I think he's going to be about a half yard short.
Yeah.
And we'll see now if Benilde keeps the pedal down, or they just go into halftime content with hanging half 100 on the board.
Well, Floyd's in the backfield, Matt. 135.
Whitmore's going to call timeout. He's confused on the play call. Or they might have been short one guy on the field. I only see 10 guys out there.
That's a good call. We see him walking off. There are only 10, and now they're going to bring in another offensive lineman into the game.
Always helpful. The guy they brought in there was 78. He weighs about 280.
That's Eric Wilson, the junior.
Yeah.
You say about 280? Yep, that's what he's listed at on the roster.
they've created some good seams. Ricky Floyd, most of his touchdowns between the tackles and then just making people miss and finding that gap, and nobody can catch him once he gets full speed.
Watch for James and Brooks. They line up to the near side. Here's a pass. Thrown over the head that time of Peyton James. This is where you throw 2 passes, then you run and see if you can get Floyd in the open.
Absolutely.
The rain seems to be letting up here. This is Floyd. And the Orioles have made a few adjustments here. Either that or Floyd is tiring a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, it gets back to line of scrimmage. Of a 3rd and 10. Clock is ticking. I think you probably just hand it off again.
390 for Floyd. There's Floyd. And the Orioles do a great job stacking Floyd up that time.
And they're going to just let the clock run.
I don't think the Orioles have any timeouts left, so that's all they can do.
They'll punt it with as little amount of time on the clock as they can. And this punting play might be
the Red
your
Knights
last
could
play
let
of
the
half.
clock run down here if they want and then call a timeout. We'll see, there's still time left to snap the ball. Yeah, they'll let as much time run out. Take the timeout here.
So we're checking another website for the state rushing record. The State High School League is listing 461. And again, Ricky Floyd has 390 in the first half. 391 to be exact.
He still deserves Metro Player of the Week. He's got 6 touchdowns in the first half. There's a good kick.
Clock ticking down.
Orioles just got to let it go. Don't touch it. Yeah, you don't want to touch it there. And the clock down to 8 seconds, so the Orioles can just down the football and end this half. .72 points scored in the half.
Several of them not by Ricky Floyd. The Ricky Floyd Show, 6 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions, 391 yards, and we're almost to the end of the first half.
So the Orioles will take the knee here, and that will do it. And it was a long half there. An hour
But a great one.
20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's a half that was filled with a lot of excitement, a lot of big plays, a fun half for both teams. Maybe not if you're defensive coordinators, but for the offensive coordinators and even for the St. Louis Park Orioles, they had some good things happen in that half. They seemed to move the ball well, had some really nice plays, nice calls on offense, and Michael Howard had a big half for the St. Louis Park Orioles.
Well, early second quarter, Orioles were up 22-21, and then we got 39 unanswered points by the 29 unanswered points by the Red Knights.
So again, we're live tonight, and Matt, you and I are going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll see how many more yards Ricky Floyd can add to that total as we're at halftime, and Ricky Floyd with 390 yards. We'll see what the official number is. So.
And I believe he's about 70 away.
I'm a wife.
A sister.
And a grandfather.
I'm an office clerk.
I'm a research analyst.
Dance fitness instructor.
Actor.
I'm a copywriter.
I'm a veteran.
I have lupus.
Cerebral palsy.
I'm blind.
And I'm working in a job I love.
I love.
Because I was given a chance.
To contribute my skills and talents.
To show that my disability
is only one part of who I am.
Who I am.
Who I am.
At work, it's what people can do that matters.
For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
It's the Ricky Floyd Show.
It's been a wild one. He's got 6 touchdowns, 391 yards rushing in the first half. State record, best as we can ascertain, is 461.
By Brian Day. Is that
Brian Day from Brainerd, 1996. And the touchdown record, 8 touchdowns in a game. Jerry Simonson out of Franklin, 1964. And Peter Warren, Cook County, 2012.
And we have 6 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. You know the funny part about this, and it's not, is you can't forget on the other side of the ball what kind of performance that Romero and Michael Howard has had. Howard with 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 two-point conversions.
Yeah, they were up 22-21 at the beginning of that second quarter and keeping it competitive, and that's why Benilde kept giving the ball to Ricky Floyd, because the game was not over at that point.
Who needs defensive coordinators, right?
Yes, it's been a wild one. It's been a lot of fun. We've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 touchdowns of more than 50 yards in the first half of this game.
When we covered the last game, as you and I mentioned, against Cooper, and we saw Cooper put up 56 points in the first half. 56 points total. Park did not score in that half. We thought that was crazy, all the points put up on the board. But here they've been able to duplicate, and St. Louis Park was able to answer up until, Benilde just sort of went on a run there at the end.
Yeah, we were trying to add up Ricky Floyd's yards. We were going to say he was at 298, and then he busted a 90-yarder and threw that one right out the window. And again, he's at 391.
70 yards short of the state record.
So the question here, they're going to get the ball first. We'll see how long they leave that first team offense with the offensive line and Ricky Floyd in the game. And we had a lot of rain the first half. It's still drizzling here, keeping things wet, but it's been a pretty tight execution on offense from both teams.
We got the coaches up here. I got to imagine at halftime you guys are talking a little bit about that number 23 and how do we stop them.
Come as a team, that's it. Read your keys, tackle, come as a team.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your insight.
Kickoff about to commence here.
And St. Louis Park will kick here to start the second half.
And Ricky Floyd is back on kick return coverage.
They're going to squib it. Well, his knee was down and the ball was loose. Seemed like an early whistle that time, but it's going to be Red Knights ball at the 32-yard line. Didn't have possession of the ball, and the whistle was blown, which was surprising there. Even though his knee was on the ground.
Coaches for the Orioles looking for an explanation there. I don't know that they got one that they liked. And we got I see some of the big offensive linemen coming out there, and Ricky Floyd is in the backfield. I formation. He's even got a blocker.
We got to watch for Ujuwango to get the ball. And he does.
He is. And he gets popped on the sideline, and we got a flag down too. Away from the call, you might see a holding as he came around the end.
Took down a couple coaches there on the sidelines too. It was a little bowling action here.
It was a big pop. Zolly Kaplan lowered his shoulder. A little boom shakalaka, as we say.
If they move this one back and Floyd breaks it, they will have the record. He will have the state record. Right now, if he breaks one, he wouldn't have the state record.
There's no way he could break off a 75-yard touchdown run.
I think the Orioles are have in the locker room have devised a plan to stop Ricky Floyd. We'll see. I don't think you can totally stop a guy that is as good as Ricky Floyd is tonight.
So we got about a 1st and
slow him down.
18, 17, call it.
Two backs. And this is Floyd. And Floyd goes down after a gain of a couple.
Might have to start writing those down, that's right.
Whitmore. Here's a handoff, Fujiwagu.
You're gonna see another hold. It's gonna bring up a 2nd and long. Unless they decide to decline and bring up a 3rd and 13. Penalty is declined. 3rd and long. Don't want to give Benilde any more opportunities than necessary. The Red Knights were down 22-21. And they had 29 unanswered points there at the end of the second half, end of the second quarter.
Here's a handoff.
There's Floyd,
There's
rounds
Ricky
the corner.
Floyd. And Floyd is brought down at the 35 on a great tackle by the Orioles. They tried to do a little bit of a different formation that time.
They did the little tuck under. We've seen that from them too, where the running back stays in to block, and it looks like the quarterback's rolling, and the quarterback just tucks it under his arm. And good defensive stand by the Orioles.
So 4th down, punting situation now for the Red Knights. A lot of pressure put on that time. High end over and punt. Takes a good bounce for the Red Knights and will end up eventually being, well, the ball just stopped and at about the 27-yard line.
So Orioles scored 22 in the first half. That's their most points in the first half this season. See if they can get anything going on the offense. Well, Merida Howard was the big first half hookup. 164 yards receiving for Howard, including 2 long touchdowns, a 60-yarder and a 70-yarder.
Yeah, that time Howard ran right into the defender at that time, and great defense by the Red Knights. You get that 78 Eric Wilson again.
And he's a big boy.
He's a big boy, and he's playing a great football game.
He's just a junior. He's a lean, mean 280. They bring him off the end.
And Michael Howard comes to the near side. Smith all the way to the far sideline. Orioles stretch out the receivers. Back to pass. Quick throw to Michael Howard. Trying to make a couple jukes at the 30-yard line. Gets to the 31.
Good open field tackling. The Red Knights now on Howard. They were playing him up at the line of the scrimmage early in the first half, and now they're
Well, that's a situation too
stay back.
where Howard's going to take a few of those short passes, and then eventually if they come up on him, all of a sudden he can just burn down the sideline, and hopefully they can catch him for a long one.
And I think you probably saw the last of them coming up to the line in this game after those 2 long touchdown passes.
Howard to the far side. Here's a long pass for Howard. He's breaking open. Howard dives and can't get it at the 40-yard line. If that pass had a little more air under it, Howard was wide open.
It was Charlie Wolf defending there, and he still let Howard get behind him. Just out of his fingertips.
Howard limping a little bit as he comes to the sideline.
Rub some dirt on it.
So 4th and 5. Romero back to punt. Low snap. Romero rolls, looking to pass the ball. Throws in it off the fingertips. He had the receiver there, number 23 for the Orioles, and that was Jerry Samea.
And I think this was designed fake punt. But the receivers got gummed up there, and there was pressure coming at Romero. So good field position for Benilde. You still got Ricky Floyd in there. You still got Will Whitmore.
From the 38-yard line, this is Floyd. And Floyd was grabbed down on a really nice play by the Orioles. That was number 16, Peyton Morrison.
Gain of 2, I think.
So bring the linebackers up quick to try and stop Floyd before he can get ahead of steam.
Floyd now is at about 398. Again, state record for rushing, Minnesota state record, showed as 461 on the High School Football League website.
There's that
There's a little pitch, and it was fumbled.
Well, the question was, it caught? If it's caught, because it was a shovel, it looked like a shovel pass, and
it was definitely not caught. So the refs are going to talk about this. I can tell you that hit the ground.
Yeah, it's a shovel pass. It can't be a. That was a shovel pass, so it had to either be caught by the defense, otherwise it's an incomplete pass, and I think the refs will call this incomplete.
And that's one of the reasons the Red Knights feel comfortable running those plays, is there's a little less danger.
Well, the Orioles had their offense on the field. Now they're bringing the defense back on. And the Red Knights already set up on offense. They could. The referees are holding the play right now. Let the defense get set up. Orioles jump, and we're going to have an offsides on St. Louis Park. From the right side of the line, the Orioles.
There were a couple guys jumping, yep. That's going to go from a 3rd and long to a 3rd and about 3.
Yeah, now you're really giving the Red Knights an opportunity to have a couple downs here to get that first down. And we'll see if they give Floyd the football. He's been able to get those 2 to 3 yards.
And then some.
And then about 60, 70, or 80. There's Floyd. And Floyd is hit from behind. The pile moves down to close to the 25-yard line.
It's going to be
short. Yep.
Down.
It's going to bring up a 4th down. Orioles doing a great job here. They made some adjustments, and the yards are becoming a little bit tougher for Floyd.
Yeah, they're just clogging up the interior line. Those long touchdown runs, most of them came right up the middle, and then Floyd would turn on the jets, and they're not allowing that little seam for him to get through the line. Fourth and short. The crowd on their feet.
Whitmore back to pass. He looks, coming in over the middle and missing the football that time was number 5 for the Red Knights.
Matt Brooks, was
yep.
wide open. Pass was a little bit high, but you got once you get your hands on it, you got to catch it. He jumped and he really didn't need to. It was helmet high.
One of the Orioles down on the field.
Tavian Malone again.
So Tavian Malone has been down a couple times.
He was behind the receiver there. Let's see if we see what happened to him.
As you mentioned, you got to get that football again. It's and I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that because, again, the conditions are playing on a wet evening. Actually, the rain has stopped now. It's actually turning out to be pretty nice, but
it's still coming down a little bit. Look, yep.
when your eyesight gets to be like mine right now, you don't see the small raindrops. You know, they have to be pretty big for me to see them at this age.
We're just watching this from the booth in high def. So.
Well, with the window, I can't see up. You can't see out the foggy window. Orioles with the football now. Benilde unable to capitalize on fourth down. Orioles.
We went 5 minutes almost in game time without a touchdown. That's our longest stretch, and then some.
There goes Brown in motion, and a
Everybody
false start.
moving
Yeah,
there.
a false start.
Little sloppy start on both sides of the ball. Both teams on the second half here so far.
Back to pass, thrown, complete. There's some room to run. That was Nelson, his first catch of the game. It's a nice play in the flat that time, man.
Yeah, they ran 2 wide outs to clear out the corner, so then you had room for Nelson right there.
Nice run up the middle. Brown breaks the tackle, has a first down and more as he gets down to the 46.
Big gain, 13 yards right up the middle. Good blocking by that offensive line.
Orioles in a hurry-up offense. They've got Michael one-on-one coverage. This is an opportunity if they want to take a shot. I think Michael can.
Yeah, he's all by himself, bottom of your screen. Romero, if he sees him, but he's under heavy pressure.
He's going to go down, yeah, at the 45.
62. It's McCullough, I believe.
No, that's
Braden Fitzgerald.
That's Fitzgerald again. Fitzgerald just he's an unbelievable player for the Red Knights. He's had a great night, and saw coming in. He led the team in tackles and just playing a great game. This time, Howard will go to the far side.
It's about a 10-yard loss there.
Yeah. Now they send Brown in motion. Romero back to pass. He's got to get rid of it. He does, but behind and overthrown there. Yeah, 2 guys in the same area. That was Smith and Michael Howard. Yep.
Just was out of rhythm right at the beginning. Defenders were swarming.
So third down, 18 yards to go for the Orioles. Both teams made some adjustments, it looks like, defensively, and
or they're very, very tired.
Could be
There's
too.
a lot of offense first half.
There's Brown in motion. Back to pass over the middle.
He's
open.
wide
It's
open.
caught. Benny. Benny could go. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown.
Big play.
Hi, Benny. And a good job by Romero. He had a lot of pressure up the middle. Was able to get the ball to Benny. Benny caught up with it at about the 40-yard line and sprinted into the end zone.
That's another 50-yard plus play. Our 8th one of the game, 53 yards.
50-28 our score now as Orioles will go for 2.
Romero, definitely his season high in passing. He only had 148 yards passing coming into this game, already well over 200.
This time Smith to the near side. Michael Howard to the far side, one-on-one coverage.
And they went to him in the corner a couple
Here's
times.
a pitch. This is Brown, breaks a tackle. Oh, he ran into his own guy. It looked like he was gonna have the 2-point conversion there, and he just went down quick.
Yeah, he
Caught
ran
from behind.
full speed into the back of his own guy.
Watch this. His own blocker. And
well, he was pushed into, got caught from behind and then ran right into 14 Austin Nelson.
So 50-28.
Dare I say the rain picked it up a notch.
I can see it now. I'll stick my hand outside the window and it's there.
So it took 5 minutes, 43 seconds for us to score our first touchdown of the second half. I think it was about 28-22 first quarter when in the first half. We had a lot of big time touchdowns. Big plays early.
Skyler, Rodelius Palmer.
Little pooch kick.
Yep. And it's taken.
This time the refs don't blow the whistle until
that was Simonetti.
Possession
right.
is actually attained. So what do you do? 22-point lead? Do you put the second team in there yet? Doesn't look like it. I see Whitmore. See Ricky Floyd. I see a couple of the big uglies.
Well, coaching staff too has to, they may know where the record book is, and we'll see if it's something that's important to them or not. We know Floyd's going to be valuable to this team moving on.
There's a
There's
decoy there.
And it's complete. Nice pass by Whitmore as it's caught across the 50-yard line.
That's the tight end, Hodder.
And again, with Floyd carrying the ball as much as he did, it really opens up the passing game a little bit if Will elects to put the ball up in the air.
Yeah, Hodder, a good target. 6'3", 195. Nice tight end to have. And there's Floyd.
Breaks the tackle.
He's juking.
Floyd
that could be number 7.
And he's in the end zone.
That's going to be 50 big ones. That's going to put him at 348, about 13 yards shy.
448 or 450.
448. Pardon me.
You're missing 100 there, Hondo.
Well, I blinked for a minute when he got that 90-yarder. That's 7 touchdowns. The state record is 8.
453.
Yep. He is 8 yards shy at 453 of the state record. Once again, held by Brian Day of Brainerd from 1996.
We gotta call Brian, get him out here. Can he hand over that the reign to we say the reign,
the championship belt?
The belt, yep.
So, and again, the TD record 8. Jerry Simonson of Franklin, Peter Warren of Cook County, and Ricky.
Every time St. Louis Park gets that little momentum, it's that Floyd run that just kicks them down.
And just when we thought, I mean, he had several 2- and 3-yard gains there. You're thinking maybe the Orioles have got it shored up. And Ricky Floyd tells you different.
85 points in the game now, 57-28. Rain is even coming down harder now.
The student section is hardy. They're standing up, but several others have taken refuge in the stands. Under the stands.
Kick fielded at the 30-yard line. Well, this is Brown.
He's got some moves.
Yes, he does. Just picking his way through there, getting out to the 37.
Maneuvering well in tight spaces.
Yeah. And he was brought down by Peyton James. Seeing James playing both sides of the football a little bit. special team player. Let's see if we can get Michael to have another one and see if he can get up to that close to that 200 mark. Michael
Needs
with
36 yards.
164 in the first half. And the handoff, Brown. Brown to the 41.
That's our 10th touchdown of 50-plus yards today.
You know, it's also amazing too is with Floyd's feet. It's done on a wet turf with a wet ball. He hasn't fumbled. He's held on to that football, and just, what a great performance.
And a couple of those touchdowns, there wasn't much room, and he would stop and start and shift, and he kept his feet the whole time.
Nice little completion from Romero to Smith. So third down, a couple yards to go.
Romero wants to do the quick.
He quickly ran up to the field, and now a late flag.
He was going to do a QB sneak. I think we got illegal motion right on the offense.
So we'll move this one back 5, make it a little bit tougher for the Orioles here. Matt, we've seen some big plays though, so you know when we say it's third down and 9, seems like just a little bit of a...
It could be 3rd and goal.
Right.
It's the way this game's been going.
Here's Romero back to the...
10 touchdowns of more than 50 yards in this game. And we have 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
What were they eating for the pregame meal?
Exactly.
In motion. Romero looks downfield. Little too hard for Smith. That time Smith was a little bit of an opportunity there, but with the wet football, thrown a little bit hard in front of him and unable to come down with that football. He had a chance. Wasn't that poorly thrown.
It was there. You want to make it. The ball is slippery. And you want to keep the ball away from Ricky Floyd. Looks like they're going to go for it 4th down in their own territory.
4th and 7, trips to the near side. In motion is Brown. They throw to Howard.
They get Howard.
Howard catches. Oh, he dropped it.
So 2 drops, 3rd and 4th down. That's going to give Benilde-St. Margaret the ball.
And I think that was only dropped because of a great defensive play by Charlie Wolf.
Well, we're going to see the Red Knights come out here.
And this is the opportunity.
Ricky Floyd 8 yards shy of the state record for rushing. The record's 461. It doesn't look like he's out there.
No, they hand off to 29.
Interesting.
Matthew Turnbull.
7 touchdowns. 453 on the ground. And they're going to call off the dogs.
Well, the coaching staff up here is made aware of we'll see if they call down to the field. And
the rain now definitely coming down harder.
Again, number 29, the ball carrier, Matthew Turnbull.
Number 29, ball carrier.
A new quarterback out there too. Bill Licklater.
And you got to believe you're going to see handoff, 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 and good hard running.
Right. Maybe they bring him in I mean, just get enough and get that touchdown, get that record-breaking touchdown.
And there you see him.
He's coming in.
It's going to be 3rd and short.
Floyd gets a touchdown, he can break 2 records. He'll tie one and break one.
One touchdown short of the record as well, of tying the record.
1 touchdown.
There's Ricky.
Floyd.
He's going to have the first down. It's going to be a couple yards shy of the record.
So Floyd stays in the football game here. Whitmore.
3 yards shy of the record.
Under center. There's Floyd trying to get outside and cannot.
Going to lose a couple.
I think the coaching staff here will just try and give Floyd the ball here. Just get him the record and then get him out of there. So. There's Floyd trying to get to outside, and he's pulled down from behind.
Good defense by the Orioles there.
So 3rd down.
3rd and 13. Tried going around. Most of Floyd's success has been going up the middle today. Rain coming down hard.
3rd down, long to go. Floyd in the backfield. And a double handoff. This is number 33 gets it. So Floyd got it. Handed off to John Stone.
And again, that's a little inside reverse. We've seen that a couple times tonight. Picked up a big chunky yardage, but we're still going to be 4th and I'm going to say 7.
We're coming to the end of the 3rd quarter here, 57-28. They spread it out. And here's Floyd. Floyd, and he has stood up at the 10-yard line.
Gain of 5, but that's going to be a turnover on downs.
He's still a couple yards short, I believe. And again, it's unofficial, so they may want to give a little padding in there. You know? 4:59, 2 yards shy.
And 1 touchdown shy of tying the state record. Coaches are aware of it up in the box and keeping the sideline aware of it. A nice little handoff here.
That's a good run.
We've seen a little more success on the run game than we've seen previous games with the Orioles. Both kind of varying it up too. Some around the end and some right up the middle. Brown's been running hard, dragging tacklers, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
So we're through 3 quarters of play here from St. Louis Park. Benilde leads 57 to St. Louis Park Orioles 28.
Introducing a breakthrough in time management technology. A whole new day of the week. It's called Someday. Ingenious. Perhaps someday you are going to go skydiving. Enter a hot dog eating contest. Maybe ride a mechanical bull. Now it's on the calendar. You may want to retire someday. Ready for that? You'll really want this. a My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits, plan for your retirement, and how to save for it. If you already receive benefits, you can manage them online. Millions of people already have a My Social Security account. In fact, someone opens one about every 6 seconds. Get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
We're back here in the fourth quarter, just underway, and Brown broke off a nice 30-yard run to start the fourth quarter here for the Orioles. They're across midfield. In motion is Smith. He gets the football, comes to the near side, and Smith is taken down on a nice play by number 4. That's Charlie Wolf for the Red Knights.
Story of the game right now. Ricky Floyd, running back for Benilde, 2 yards short of the state record. At 461 is the record. He's standing at 459.
And the Red Knights coaching staff would like nothing more than for him to get it quick so they can just get him out of the game. They don't want him playing in the fourth quarter here in a 57-28 football game, but they do want him to have the record. There's a pass. It's to Smith. Smith cuts between 2 defenders and gets down to the 40.
Orioles have had some success. They've had a few drives. A couple of them have stalled once they got closer to the end zone. But this is the best offense we've seen from them this season.
Right, it's the most points they put up this season, Matt, which I think the previous high was 26 points.
Yep, and this is a lot of their touchdowns in the first half. I mean, we're against first-team offense. The game was still in question. So you're seeing a lot better performance week after week from the Orioles.
Brown in motion. They run the option. Romero has to take it himself.
Nice.
Cuts
little
across the field.
Maneuver in there.
Started left, turned it right, and got down to about the 30.
Some quick little cuts here in traffic. Slippery field, slippery ball, and look at that. Good vision.
Timeout on the field.
Romero hobbling off a little bit. See if he can shake it off.
You know, Romero's had a good football game today.
He's had more passing yards today than he had the first 4 games combined. Many of them to Howard. And he's had several drop passes too. His totals could be much higher.
So Roger Jones will be coming into the game. Well, Logan Romero coming back out on the field.
He's going to gut it out.
Nope. He's going to have to sit out one. So number 7 is Jones. First opportunity for Roger Jones here. See if they hand it to Brown. And it is Brown.
Not much there that time.
Brown gets a couple, and Logan Romero is going to come back out on the field. Oh. Well, they're not going to bring a quarterback here.
I think they're just giving him
the
the
Wildcat?
play. They're just giving him the play.
Okay.
He's coming in.
It's always that old Wildcat play.
Well,
You never know.
They do have Ronnie Brown, who ran the Wildcat many successful years with Miami.
Trips to the near side, Howard to the far side.
Romero
Romero.
keeps it.
Well, he can't be hurting too much as they call the play. He takes it himself.
Big gain there. He's doing all right.
Third down and about a yard to go for the Orioles. Play called in. Romero's into the huddle. Benny on the far sideline, Howard on the near sideline. Single coverage for Howard.
Running backs get into the play call.
They wanted to throw it up in the corner and give Howard a shot here. Oh, handoff.
Should get him the first down.
Yeah, that was Smith. You know, this is not done against the second string defense. Red Knights still have their starters in on defense here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been able to run the ball and get a couple big pass plays. And really, if it weren't for a couple drop passes, they'd have another touchdown or two on the board.
The wind's picking up too here now.
Romero scrambles.
Yep.
Safety valve, and it's dropped. And Brown just didn't get in his grasp, and we've seen that with the rain.
This rain is really coming down. I can see it. It's coming into the press box. The wind's just brewing now. Here's a pass. This is Smith. He had to wait for it.
He's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you know, Smith had to wait for it that time, and that time Lachi Johnson.
Malachi, we'll call him.
Malachi.
Good tackle. A couple yards behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be a 3rd and 12. Little under 8 minutes and counting. Like to see the Orioles get another touchdown on the board.
Brown in the backfield, in motion is Benny. Back to pass. Romero looks. Now
He's got a guy wide
got
open.
This is Smith.
That's a touchdown.
So Smith catching the pass, getting the touchdown.
22-yarder.
That's short in our book. We haven't had many under like 30, have we?
That's 4 touchdown passes for Romero today. Coming into the game, he had 1.
So a good game for Logan Romero, and a good offensive game for the Orioles as they're up to 34 points.
Confidence builder next week. They got Irondale 1-3. You got to think they got a pretty good chance at that ball game. And there's a one-hander.
Look at Howard. This guy is going to be good. He is good, but he's got a few more years to play here on the St. Louis Park Orioles offense, and that's
the old Odell Beckham one-hander. Just plopped in there by Romero. Pouring rain.
No Stafford.
Wasn't raining when Odell Beckham caught it.
57-36.
It's interesting. It's at least interesting. We still got 7 minutes left. That's a lot of touchdowns.
And we're up to 93 points.
And Ricky Floyd needs 2 yards to set the state rushing record. One more touchdown, he ties the state rushing record. They're going to give him like 1 carry and send him home, though, it sounds like. Onside attempt.
And recovered by the Red Knights.
Was a nice little kick there. The Red Knights did not have an onside defense unit. There's only a couple guys on that side of the field. Good job in the slippery weather for him to grab it with like 5 guys.
I don't see Floyd out there.
At full speed.
There's no Floyd.
Floyd is not in the game.
And he wasn't for a while earlier, and then they brought him in.
They'll pick their spots, maybe. That's Turnbull, left side, not much there.
Well, they bring 32, not 23 in the game, so.
Nick Bolin.
Licklider.
He's going to pass. Oh!
Oh, late flag called.
That was Jelani with a big hit.
The Park coaching staff, all of them started.
I haven't heard a hit like that since Duran Duran's last album. Nobody likes that one.
Red Knights continue to bring in some new players on offense.
That's what we call a love tap.
I think we have another quarterback in the game. Fialo.
I believe that was Turnbull, big loss.
Turnbull is brought down by number 36, Rettelsheimer.
Good tackle by Kyle Rettelsheimer. Even the students are no longer standing in the mass numbers. The rain has finally got to them. There's Turnbull again. He's got a little bit of room.
Gets down to the 30-yard line.
On the carry, brought down by number 18, Kaplan.
It'll be a 3rd and 7.
If the Red Knight fans knew how close they were to the record, you'd be hearing the Ricky chant.
I got to think if it weren't raining, you might see him in there. Turnbull again up the middle.
Number 29, Turnbull. Number 53, Roberts on the tackle.
And a timeout for St. Louis Park.
Exciting game, lots of big plays.
So at 459 yards rushing.
391 in the first half.
2 yards shy of the state record.
Crazy good performance for Ricky Floyd.
It's always nice to go down. You'll go down as number 2 in the record book. So. And he'll have his health.
The Sportsmanship Award. He'll live to fight another day. 4th down. Turnbull again, left side. He's got some blocking. He's going to get a first down.
Down to the 20.
Number 29, Turnbull on the carry, brought down by number 53, Rogers.
Got your backup, offense and defense out there at this point. Two tight ends. They're just going to keep running up the middle. This time Turnbull gets stuck.
Yeah, he does.
Peyton Morrison, nice tackle. Shed his blocker and stuffed him. Be 2nd and 10.
Here's the case, too. If you bring Floyd in, he's playing behind the second team.
Yeah, you've got to put all your first teamers back in there. There's that little inside reverse.
Number 33, Stone on carry.
Stone with the carry. Bring up 3rd and long. Be third and about 6. They've just been handing it off. They've found some room on the left side there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Turnbull's your lone setback.
Yep, and again, the quarterback is Tino Fialo.
Turnbull's going to try to turn the corner. Dodges one guy.
Not going to get there.
And you're going to see a hold. So you can go for 3rd and long or 4th and 5.
Trying to decide if they want to take that penalty.
I'm hoping my hairpiece survives this weather.
It's doing good. It's hanging in there.
They're going to decline it, bring up 4th and 5.
So with 3:23 to go, this could be the Red Knights' last opportunity here on offense.
Tucker is your running back. He's going to get the ball, and he's
Look
going to
at
get a
Tucker go.
touchdown.
So a touchdown for Tucker. That's Ryan Tucker.
17-yard run.
5'9" junior.
And my pen is out of ink, so I'm not writing down this touchdown.
Or 99. Let's see if they can make it 100.
They're going for 2. They just threw the
tee.
Yeah, the tee back in. So I'm assuming they're going for 2, or they're going to take a timeout. So you might want that tea with this weather.
Well, you got a little coffee too, or some hot chocolate.
All right, they are going to try it in the pouring rain. .100. And we're going to be stalled at 99 for those of you doing push-ups at home.
Maybe we'll get Michael to catch another long one here and get him over 200.
There's 3 minutes left. In Ricky Floyd time, that's 3 touchdowns.
Again, if you just joined this game, Matt, how many yards? 459.
459 for Ricky Floyd, 391 in the first half, 7 touchdowns. His shortest touchdown run was 21 yards. The rest were all over 50, including a 90-yarder at the end, toward the end of the first half. It was tough to keep track of him, quite honestly.
A couple 2-point conversions. Made it look easy in the first half.
He was serving hot dogs at halftime. He did it all. (63-36), 3 minutes left. The rain is coming down hard.
Well, and we mentioned for St. Louis Park, they like 10 points over their season high, so.
Their offense did a lot of good things tonight. It's things you can build on.
Come on. Jermaine looked like he was waiting a little bit for his blockers, or if he just took off, he may have had a few more yards on the near side.
Well, I think you get out there and you're a little unsure of your footing with the water coming down like it is. It's not quite as easy to get up to full speed. So again, next week, St. Louis Park has got Irondale. They're 1-3. You got to think they got a chance at a victory there. Last game of the year, De La Salle's 1-3. Maybe they got a chance there. This offense, if they can build on it, give them a chance to win next week.
Logan Romero with 4 touchdown passes. Would like to make that 5. Benny in motion, fumble. Gets the ball back himself. You know, haven't seen too many of those, and
it's been good execution on offense. There haven't been very many turnovers, not a lot of fumbling of the ball. We have had some drop passes.
Should mention that was Jones, so Romero not in.
People are making their cuts. I mean, good footing. People aren't slipping out there. It's a well-played game on offense.
So Jones was the one who fumbled that football. And now he hands off. Brown. Brown's a tough guy to bring down, but Red Knights do a good job at the 41-yard line. He'll bring up a 3rd down.
Benilde next week goes to Park Center. Then they got Spring Lake Park, who's undefeated, and Robbinsdale Armstrong. So they got a couple tough games there.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the Benilde Armstrong game. That'll be a fun one at the end of the season.
It'll be fun to see Ricky Floyd, I know that.
And again, that's what the coaches are looking at. We got a tough schedule. We can't take a chance that Floyd gets hurt, even if it means getting the extra 2 yards. So.
Incomplete pass there. It's going to bring up 4th down.
So Jones throwing the incomplete pass, and he'll get another shot here on 4th down. The Orioles will go for it here.
Kind of step to the side on that one. And he had the wayward delivery. 33. He's going to take the snap.
And this will give it to the bigger back, and that's Brown, and he's close to the 1st down.
Nice run.
Depends where they mark. I think they're going to give him a good spot here, and we'll 1st down for the Orioles. So St. Louis Park with the 1st down at the 48, and we're down to 1:22. Clock is ticking. St. Louis Park with 1 timeout left.
33 out there. Lining up wide.
And the keeper is Jones. So Jones is a freshman, getting some playing time here. Number 33, Aiden. Up, fumble, kicked. And a pile up at about the 40-yard line. We'll see.
You get some of the freshmen out there, and you're going to see a little less execution.
You know, not only that, you're playing again with the wet ball, and you're playing with players who aren't really playing much. You got a lot of freshmen, and you know, in the game right now for the Orioles, which is a very young team. It's turned over with 34 seconds to go. The Red Knights can just down the football, and we'll be done.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Very entertaining ball game tonight, Bruce.
It was. It really was.
99 of the craziest points you'll ever see scored. Remember, halftime it was 50-21.
Yeah, things settled down a little bit in the second half.
That's what you want to call.
A lot of, you know, a lot of the fans that weathered the storm were able to see some.
Student section was standing through the end of the 3rd quarter.
Careful walking down.
They were into it. We got the kneel down. So what's our next game, Bruce?
Well, the next one, I believe, let's just see here. Yeah, homecoming. Well, I think we have Park Center at St. Louis Park, I think, will be on October 2nd. Is that right, Paul? I believe so. And then we have the Benilde homecoming on October 9th. So
great game. Final score.
You know, fun game to really fun game to cover, and really hats off to, as we mentioned, Floyd with Ricky Floyd. What a great game, and a great job. Really, it doesn't all happen by just the running back alone. The offensive line for the Red Knights, you know, you have to give them a lot of credit too for opening up those holes, getting Floyd into the secondary where he has the speed and is able to burst and get open.
Yeah, once he gets full speed, he is gone and nobody's catching him.
You know, so again,
and he gets going in a hurry.
And that offensive line with, you know, Dahlman, Fitzgerald, Anderson, McCullough, and Wilson, they did a great job for the Red Knights to open up the hole. Will Whitmore did a good job controlling the offense, getting the ball into the hands, not turning the ball over on a rainy night. And on the other half, as you see the rain coming down, you know, Logan Romero, we saw some good things from Logan, his best game by far of the season, and Michael Howard making some really nice catches, and also Smith did a nice job out there.
Yeah, big improvement for the offense of the Orioles. Got to give them a little bit of confidence next week heading into Irondale. And, you know, if they build on that as the season goes on with some of their underclassmen, they might be okay going forward.
Right. When you look at their schedule remaining, it's Irondale, Park Center, and then De La Salle, who De La Salle's down this year. So St. Louis Park with a couple of opportunities to, you know, maybe pull a couple victories out. For Benilde, their last 3 games are Park Center, Spring Lake Park, and Armstrong. So if they get by Park Center, they've got a couple tough contests to get through.
Yep. Well, and if you got Ricky Floyd, you got a chance. That's what I'm going to tell you.
So again, 459 yards for Ricky Floyd.
7 touchdowns.
2 2-point conversions, and so he'll hit the record books, and he may not be number 1, but very close to it. And hats off to the coaching staff for keeping him healthy and saying, you know what, it's not worth 2 yards. That 2 yards could could end our season. So they took Ricky out, and again, hats off to them. Final score 63-36. Benilde with a win. On behalf of Matt Seedorf and our staff here at ParkTV 16, I'm Bruce Hoberman saying so long from St. Louis Park.
Thank you, and have a good night.